What's up, guys? So today I'm going to show you what I've been doing for rehab. And what you can see right here is, sorry about my Frodo feet first of all, but I figured I'd take the sock off and show you guys exactly where I'm actually doing the rehab for. So like I mentioned in my second video, I broke the bone right here. And this one is connected mainly to the first metatarsal, which is this entire long area right here. So when I got the cast off and the boot off and everything, and the doctor was like, you know what, you've been doing everything pretty well. It's been about 2 weeks now. Actually, I think it's been about 11 days. But the first thing I noticed is that obviously I was limping. So I didn't really have a calf. I had to develop that again. Still don't really have any. But, working on it. And this right here, the ball right here under the big toe is where most of the pain has been. So that's where I've been rehabbing the most. So I'm going to get right into what I've been doing and what you guys could possibly be doing if you're in the same boat. So first things first, I put my foot flat on the ground and I'm noticing already that there's pain right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big toe and I stretch it back. And I hold this for about 10 to 30 seconds. And I do about 3 or 4 sets of this, really pulling it back and making sure that you can feel the stretch. So what you're going to feel immediately, at least what I'm feeling, is an entire like contraction right here along this bone, and it starts right here. You can actually kind of see an indent right here. It's going to hurt, but you just got to kind of go through the pain and force yourself to do it. So after I do this for about 30 seconds, I do the exact opposite. I then push this down, creating more of a flex and a pain right around here. And this is the part that's going to kind of help you out. Because if you only stretch it one way, what I notice is you kind of lock your foot in that pain. And if you stretch it the other way, you're kind of neutralizing the pain a little bit. So, like I said, it's been 11 days. And day 10 was the sweet spot where it's finally starting not to hurt as much when I'm putting it on the ground. I can go back into squatting and stuff like that, which you're going to be seeing later in this video. And, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience, but you just have to, I guess, kind of go through the rehab motion. So after I do that for about 3 or 4 times, I grab a towel, standard towel, whatever the hell you want, and you're going to put it right under where all the toes meet your foot. The first thing I do is I kind of get back and I hold it on either ends and I pull back. So you're pulling back, and you really want to pull back more on the left hand. At least that's what I'm doing, because that's the area of the foot that's kind of feeling the most pressure. You want to pull back, you want to pull back hard. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hold this for about 30 to 40 seconds. And then you're going to push back with your foot. You're going to create some sort of resistance. So this is with my toes up. All my toes are up. Hear that crack? That's my ankle. Because it's been a while since I've actually been doing this. Then I'm going to gently pull it back again. Curl my toes down. Do the same thing. So I do this about 5-6 times. And after I do that, I take the towel away, curl my toes up and down about 15-20 times, and you're still seriously going to feel it right here. You're still going to feel it where you broke it. That's just how it's going to be. But this is really necessary. You have to really fight through the pain. It's, the reason it's so sore is honestly because you haven't been using it that much in the cast, and that's why it's sore for me. I didn't put my foot down for almost 10 weeks. So, when the bone is healed, even though it's healed, when you put it down and add some weight on it, it's all the bones right here are registering, wow, I haven't been active in 10 weeks. It's really hurting me. I'm not used to this form of pressure. And that's something that you have to kind of train your body to get used to again by adding incremental amounts of resistance. So you are going to be limping for a while like I am. It's going to be really hard going up and down the stairs, but you just kind of got to do what you got to do. And like I said, around 10 days was the sweet spot where everything was kind of checking out. So after I did that with the towel, it's very simple. I would take the towel, wrap it around, make it really tight, and I would pull with my right hand really, really tightly, so I was creating a pressure surge right here. And I would keep my toes down for this and just really pull it. Do that about 3 or 4 times. And the final thing I would do is I would arch my toes up, really create a really thin area of the towel right here. That's what you want to do. Put it right at the ball. And this is the one where you kind of pull back really hard, and more so on the left side. You really want to pull this one back hard. And you really want to force your body to say, you know what, I have to adapt, I have to conform to the pressure that you're giving me, so that, when you're ready to start walking, everything's good and you can start putting your weight on it. After that, curl the toes up and down. You're going to feel a lot of pain wherever the break is, or the break was rather. And then just kind of get on the floor, do a couple ankle ups and downs, do the same thing. This whole thing should take you roughly like 20 minutes if you do it correctly. And what I've noticed is it's, the most painful in the morning for sure, because that's when you've been resting for like 8 to 10 hours sleep. And, when you kind of immediately put your foot down in the morning, it starts to hurt the most. So what I used to do is I would limp my ass to the bathroom, get in the shower, have it, be all warm and stuff from the water, and then I would get straight to work right after the shower. And I would also take my towel to the gym, and I would do this in between sets, and you're going to hear that in the voiceover coming up soon. So now on to some gym footage for you guys. What's up, guys? So we're back with another commentary. So as you just saw, that was my warm-up for what I kind of do every single day, a couple times a day. And now we are basically going into the gym. So I think when I got this off, which was June 1st, I didn't actually get back to the gym squatting with the bar, which you're going to see soon, till like maybe June 3rd or something. So I took like 2-3 days off. I was really anxious to get back. I just kind of was like, you know what, if it's going to hurt, it's going to hurt. I'm going to fight the pain and go for it. But anyways, what you're seeing right now, I'm not humping the rolling thing. I'm foam rolling everything out, especially the right side. I always recommend that you guys foam roll and definitely do some form of dynamic and static stretching before you squat, whether you're injured or not. Especially, I guess, if you're injured. If you're coming through and attempting to come back, then you might as well take all the precautions you can. So, Nip Slip 2016, there it is. I don't know, I gotta get me some like better shirts and stuff. I apologize for that. But anyways, so now we're going on to doing the hip flexor machine. And I've been starting to do this a lot more recently, only because I haven't been getting a lot of glute work in. And this kind of helps me get some blood flow into the lower area of my body, just basically getting it ready to hit the bar. And you can see the warm-up and then, what the working sets are going to look like for today. So I want to emphasize taking as much rest as possible, especially when you're injured. Like, there's no reason to kind of just go right into it. But anyways, we're starting off with the bar. And what you can see by these arrows, the red one basically means that's the point of pain. And the white one is the point of pressure that I'm putting up to get the movement done. So for instance, right now I am basically doing standard deadlift, going all the way down to right about where the plates would touch. And I'm extensively focusing on the right side because that's the weaker side. That's the side that's been in a cast for 10 weeks. So it's a little bit unstable. You're going to feel a lot more lactic acid going into that. And the thing to always kind of, remember, so far what I've been doing at least, is emphasizing pushing up through the heels. I know like that's how you're supposed to squat, that's how you're supposed to deadlift anyways, but you really have to emphasize it. So this is, I guess, a more better way that you can kind of see where the pain is and everything. And I am going extremely slow, feeling a good stretch. The last thing I want to do is pull out a hamstring. Now I understand my legs are extremely tiny. You see how skinny they've gotten. I mean, the pants are basically just rags right now. But that's basically what happened. I lost close to 15 pounds, most of it in my lower body, if not all of it. And, it's devastating, but you really just have to kind of get back on the grind and go for it. I mean, it's the only way your leg's going to grow is if you keep hitting them. So, rehabbing right now. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the first day that my legs and my feet really weren't hurting. So I was fighting through the pain when I was going through these motions originally. But now it's more so like, it's not that bad. And I owe that to the towel movements that I've been doing, obviously the doctors that have been helping me out. And even to this, I feel like because I fought through the pain for the squats and deadlifts, my bones have adapted and become stronger, and eventually they're going to return back to normal, hopefully soon. But going back into the workout, now with the squats, as you can see, I'm pushing up more towards my right side. I'm a bit off angle, and what I do is I keep a narrow stance. That's always how I've squatted personally, but it's up to your preference. I've noticed I get a better center of gravity when I keep my feet narrower. Now, another color for the arrow. So basically, for the squat, it was a little different. When I was going down, I kind of had to push a little bit towards the front area of the foot, and that's what the blue arrow indicates. That's an area that I've been pushing up from that also has a little bit of pain. So the white is painless, and where most of the emphasis is going, red is total pain, and the blue is like a hybrid, more so on the white side than the red side, but you can kind of really see what I've been doing in terms of foot pressure and where I'm really just pushing up from. Now, the other thing I want to stress is getting a very, very tight stance. Taking your sweet time, not rushing the reps, getting down and actually maybe holding it for a second or two. Even at the top, I'm kind of, resetting myself every single time. The last thing I want to do is injure myself further. And the last thing I want to do is make sure my left leg gets stronger, because my right one's been the weakest one for a while, and I'm really trying to emphasize getting that one back up to par with my left before I start training for actual progressive growth. Now here I zoomed in basically right on the foot so you guys can actually kind of see what's going on. So I took my sweet time with my foot placement again, and you can really see how on the inside of the foot, like I showed you guys earlier with the towel, that's where it was hurting the most. And the heel is, like I said, completely painless, and the outside of the foot towards the center is where there's a little bit of pain. That's demonstrated by the blue arrow. So I'm taking my sweet time, really just kind of figuring things out. And even on the front squats, it's kind of the same as the back squat. Now, the reason I'm doing all three is because I haven't really had too much back activation, especially lower back activation. So that's basically what I've been doing right now in terms of getting everything back up. But seriously, guys, take your time, and I will be happy to answer any questions if you have them. Thanks for checking in, guys. Take it easy.